What's up everyone, Curtis here. Welcome back to another video, and once again we got our New Japan Pro Wrestling New Year's Dash review, and that once again means we got some Fire Pro on in the background, so let's not waste time, let's get into it, because this was a good New Year's Dash. The last couple of years New Year's Dash haven't really been that special, not memorable, but this is kind of a throwback to, the New Year Dashes where the Young Bucks and Kenny turned on AJ Styles, or Suzuki-gun come back from Noah. A lot of development on this show and some big stuff that I want to get into, so that is why I decided to do a review. So let's get into it. House of Torture defeated Rennery, Tiger Mask, and Honma. The House of Torture representatives were Dick Togo, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi. Again, New Year's Dash is just like a lot of like multi-man tag matches mainly. So I'm not going to go into too much detail into matches unless there's something that I feel like I need to talk about, but main focus is just on the storyline progression stuff. After the match, House of Torture beat down, and Minoru Suzuki comes out to make the save. The numbers game though start to beat him down. El Desperado comes out then, and it looks like we're going to have El Desperado, Minoru Suzuki going teaming up with Rennery to go after the 6-man championships. They kind of had a stare down with the House of Torture, of course. Show came out to help with the beatdown, so yeah, then they got run off. So yeah, that is interesting. Looks like Suzuki's taking a bit of interest in Rennery. I'm interested to see where this goes on. This team of El Desperado and Suzuki and Rennery, it seems like it could be some good stuff coming from there. So yeah, interested to see that comes out. I hope when that match does happen, they do get the 6-man belts. I'd much rather them have the belts than House of Torture. Then speaking of former Suzuki-kun members, Taka Michinoku comes out alongside Doki, Taichi, and Kanemaru. And then they say, Taka says, change is coming to New Japan and that this group has no leaders and they're just 4 guys. And it was at this point I'm like, okay, you have Suzuki and Desperado teaming together. You have Taka, Doki, Taichi, and Kanemaru saying they're like still going to be a group together. So at this point you're kind of thinking, why did they disband Suzuki-gun in the first place? I'm not sure why, but yeah, okay. I guess they maybe wanted to give Taichi his own group, even though Taka was the mouthpiece and Taka was the one saying there's no leaders. So yeah, interesting to see what comes from this. I do like the idea though of keeping Taka, Doki, Taichi, and Kanemaru together. I feel like keeping them together is better than, because I don't know what other groups or where they would have ended up. So yeah, they then take on the team of Will Ospreay and Catch 2-2, Akira and TJP, of course the junior tag team champs, representing the United Empire. And Doki actually picks up the win for his team and his new group, pinning Akira, which of course he sets up them going after the junior tag team championships, him and Kanemaru. And also Will Ospreay kind of confronts and gets in Taichi's face, and they start brawling after Ospreay low blowed Taka. So again, that kind of sets up that. So again, so far after the first 2 matches, you have Suzuki, Narita, and Despy going for the 6-man belts against House of Torture. You have Taichi and Ospreay, and you have Kanemaru and Doki going for the junior tag titles against Catch 2-2. And then the former Suzuki-kun train keeps on going with TNBK, of course, which includes the new leader of that group, the frontman of that group, Zack Sabre Jr. And actually, before I move on, there was one thing I did want to mention. Yeah, it is kind of confusing why they are splitting up Suzuki-gun, especially if they're still, many of the members are still going to be teamed together. Okay, you have Despy and Suzuki still teaming, even though it is away from everyone else. But you could have had them going after trying to maybe recruit Ren Narita and team with Ren Narita that way, and then you could have had just like Takan all doing their stuff. Like Will is or not Will. Saber is the only one that's kind of split away from that group and doing his stuff with TMDK. So, like at first I thought maybe, alright, okay, they want to turn Suzuki and Despy face, and they're going to have just 4 guys. I'm going to just call them 4 guys. As like heels, as because the promo kind of seemed a bit heelish, but then you know what happened afterwards with the beatdown from United Empire and the low blow from Ospreay onto Taka. I'm like, yeah, like unless it's like Bullet Club, there is no real like face heel divide in New Japan. Like, so like they could have maybe still done it, but maybe they just wanted to give it a fresh perspective. Like it is kind of the same thing, but from a new look. So yeah, maybe they just kind of wanted to give that like fresh perspective. But anyway, let's continue on. Speaking of fresh perspectives, TMDK beat Bushimon and Ishii. Hayes and Nichols hit their tag finisher on Yoshihashi, of course, pinned the champs. So that kind of sets up them going after the IWGP Heavyweight Championships. After the match and after pinning Yoshihashi, they do hold up the belt. Saber holds up his belt, the TV title. Tomohiro Ishii kind of confronts him, and again that set up the direction for the TV title with Saber and Ishii going forward. So 2 good matches you can expect from that: Bushimon and Hayes Nichols and Saber and Ishii. And also that is not it for TMDK. They did add a new member in the form of young lion Koze Fujita. Again, sorry if I mispronounce it. So yeah, Fujita, the young lion, is a new member of TMDK. So again, kind of interested to see where they go with this group. Saber as the front man, Haston Nichols, and now they have their own young boy in Fujita. Makabe, Takuchi, Yo, and Showa Umino take on the team of Los Ingobernables de Japón, which was represented by Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and Hiromu Takahashi. And Shooter channeled his inner John Moxley and made his entrance through the crowd. The match ended once Yo got the pin on Hiromu, which again sets up him going for the junior championship. He did make the challenge on the microphone and made an official challenge afterwards. And also Showa was mocking Tetsuya Naito, doing his like poses and stuff, and kind of Naito kind of got in Showa's face. So again, that sets up Shooter and Naito, which I actually am very interested to see that one-on-one somewhere down the line. Yo going after Hiromu and the IWG belt, or junior belt, I think is interesting as well, especially with Leo Rush, Yo's tag team partner, picking up an injury at Wrestle Kingdom. So yeah, interested to see how they play out. Then we probably got to the most interesting part in terms of storyline progression, and what led to what you're watching on your screen right now and have been watching for the past couple of minutes. The team of Hikuleu, Tama Tonga, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Master Wato take on a Bullet Club team which consisted of Kenta, Switchblade, JY, Taiji Ishimori, and El Fantasma. And that led to a DQ finish, I believe, after El Fantasma hit Tama with the Neverweight Openweight belt, so maybe that could set up El Fantasma going after and challenging Tama Tonga, as well as after that, Kenta grabbed the belt from ELP and hit Tanahashi, which again could set up Kenta and Tanahashi, or maybe a 4-way. We have ELP, Kenta, Tanahashi, and Tama going after that Never belt. And then Hikuleo came in to like make the save. He got hit with Cherry, on the outside. Wato was getting held back by Ishimori. And then, after laying him out, Jay White makes the challenge to Hikuleo, basically saying he knows how much Japan means to him and his family, and he wants to take that away from him. So Jay White challenges Hikuleo to a loser leaves Japan match. And yeah, I kind of mentioned it in my predictions. It seems like Jay White may be heading to WWE, and this kind of just confirmed it in a way to me that Jay White's going to WWE. I've seen a few people say, "Oh, he's going to go to AEW, turn up on Dynamite." I think WWE is more likely based on the stipulation. The whole like loser leaves Japan match. If he's just gone to AEW, I don't feel like they would have done the leaves Japan. I feel like they would have worded it a bit different. Maybe like leaves New Japan, or maybe, as Jay just hits the critical, so I guess Hikuleo has to leave Japan. But yeah, like this one, it's like I feel like WWE is more likely just based on the stipulation, because if he was going to AEW, that door for him to wrestle in New Japan, I'm trying to just, what can I put on here? We'll do Ishii and Sabre since we've already talked about that. If I can find Zach. Yeah, like AEW, Kenny Omega is the current IWGP US Heavyweight Champion. FTR were AEW signed superstars and they got the belt and wrestled in New Japan. I guess you could say, oh well, Carl Anderson was WWE signed, but Carl was only there to drop the belt. We all know that. He's just filling his like already made commitments. Like especially when you have a partnership with AEW, and with like Forbidden Door last year, and I feel like there's gonna be a Forbidden Door too this year. I just feel like saying that, if he's going to AEW, having the like loser leaves, like Japan's stipulation for that, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like WWE like Rumble makes the most sense for that. So yeah, we don't know when that match is, but it could be one of those ones where WWE are like, okay, we're signing Jay White. You let us have Carl Anderson to fill his commitments. Like, we'll have Jay at the Rumble and he can do a match with Hikuleo at a later point. Maybe, but I know I am interested to see where Jay White goes. As I mentioned, the stipulation makes me lean towards WWE. Whether or not maybe he does go to AEW, we will have to wait and see. I'm not a reporter. I don't have the inside knowledge. It's just based on pure speculation on the stipulation. All that makes me lean more towards him going the WWE route. King of Pro Wrestling 23 championship match, provisional championship match, I should say. Shingo Takagi defeated Sho, Toru Yano, and Great-O-Khan after hitting Lost of the Dragon on Yano. After the match, Khan gets in the face of Shingo Takagi and kind of lifts up the Rev Pro belt. Shingo lifts up the KOPW belt, and O-Khan kind of walks away. O-Khan basically saying, I want a shot because I never lost my belt. Maybe it's a title for title KOPW versus Rev Pro belt, which would be interesting. See, that also sets up that where the KOPW could potentially go with what they do with the Rev Pro belt. Of course, we know from Wrestle Kingdom, Shingo has his sights set on Okada as well. So, maybe Shingo, he's like, I want all the gold. I have the KOPW. I want the Rev Pro belt. I want the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, we'll have to wait and kind of see where they go with the stuff between O-Khan and Takagi. And then in our main event, Jeff Cobb and Aaron Henare represent United Empire faced off against the team of the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, and the Cleaner, Kenny Omega. Yeah, Kenny was still in Japan. He made this show, and yeah, teaming up with Okada. You know, that was a big moment. You know, two top guys. It felt like a big moment. It felt like it was something special, and that's one of the things I love about New Year's Dash is none of the matches are really announced beforehand. All we really knew was the KOPW match. And yeah, you know, when Kenny was the first one out for his team. When Kenny's music hit, you were like, oh, I can't believe he's here, it's big. And then he's in the ring, you're waiting for his partner. You know, my man's thinking, I'm like, who is it going to be? Could it be Ibushi coming back? Could it be something else? When the coin drops, the Rainmaker comes out, and just seeing Okada and Omega kind of share the ring again. You know, when Okada takes off his robe, his like entrance jacket, and you know, you see the belt around his waist, Kenny kind of has a look over it like, oh, new belt, I haven't held that one. And he's kind of looking at the US belt, looks back at that one. It's like, oh, teasing, like maybe Wrestle Kingdom next year, who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line we get Okada Omega again. But yeah, seeing them share the ring again was cool, especially first time ever, I believe. So I seen somewhere they've teamed. And yeah, it was a fun match against Cobb and Hanare. Finish, they did a Rainmaker V-trigger combo on Hanare. Okada spins him back out into a normal Rainmaker for the 3 count. You know, Okada gets under Mikey's doing his usual like goodbye stuff. And out comes Shingo again. He's like, I made the challenge last night. I want a KOPW belt, like I said. Now I want you. Let's, you know, what you say. Okada accepts, and it's official. Not sure. I don't think they've said a date or anything, but yeah, very interested for Shingo and Okada down the line. Very excited to see what they do with Kenny in New Japan. And yeah, overall, New Year's Dash, 2 thumbs up for me. Good show, sets up. You know, it did its job, set up everything, you know, like the directions to go on with all the belts. And yeah, you know, like the big storylines outside the belts as well. But yeah, that is it. If you did enjoy it, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of New Year's Dash. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next one.